Today, we're diving into two chilling true stories of unsuspecting tenants who find themselves haunted by the lingering presence of those long departed. In 1998, Sarah and her husband James moved into a century-old Victorian house in a small town in Pennsylvania. It was a beautiful, sprawling home with creaky wooden floors, stained glass windows, and a large wraparound porch. It had been vacant for a few years, and they got it at a great price. Sarah loved the house until strange things started happening. It began with the front window. Every night when she went to lock up before bed, she noticed the curtains in the living room window were open, even though she always closed them. At first, she assumed it was James, but when she mentioned it, he swore he hadn't touched them. Then, one afternoon, a neighbor informed Sarah that she had seen a man standing in the front window of her home, just staring out at the street. Sarah's stomach twisted. James worked long hours and was rarely home during the day. Who, if anyone, was she seeing? That night, she locked the windows, double-checked the doors, and pulled the curtains shut extra tight. Just as she was turning off the lights, a sound made her freeze. A soft tapping. Coming from the inside of the living room window. Sarah turned slowly. The curtains were still closed, but she could still see the outline of a shadow behind them. The shape of a tall man. She ran upstairs, waking James. When he rushed downstairs and yanked the curtains open, the window was empty. But the next morning, they found something chilling. Handprints. Faint, smudged handprints on the inside of the glass. After that, the disturbances escalated. Objects moved on their own. Cold spots appeared in the hallways. At night, they would wake up to the sound of whispering voices, but the house was empty. Then, one evening, Sarah was looking through an old box of documents left by the previous owner. Among them was an old yellowed newspaper clipping. Her blood ran cold as she read it. It was an article from 1932 about a man named Henry Caldwell, the home's original owner. He had lived there alone for years until he was found dead in the living room. The cause? Self-inflicted gunshot wound by the front window. Sarah slammed the box shut. That night, they packed their bags and left. They sold the house a month later. To this day, new homeowners and passing neighbors still report seeing a shadow in the front window, watching and waiting. In 2005, Lisa and her fiancé Matt moved into a small rental home in rural Ohio. The house was old but charming, with hardwood floors and a stone fireplace. Best of all, it had been sitting vacant for months, so the landlord gave them a great deal. At first, everything seemed fine, but after their first week, Lisa started to feel uneasy. It was the bedroom closet. She couldn't explain it, but something about it felt wrong. It was a deep walk-in closet with an old wooden door that didn't quite shut all the way. Whenever Lisa was in the bedroom, she felt like she was being watched from inside it. One night, as she was getting into bed, she noticed the closet door was slightly open. She could have sworn she had closed it earlier. "Matt, did you open the closet?" she asked. He glanced at it. No, maybe it didn't latch all the way. She let it go, but a few nights later, it happened again and again. Then one night, she woke up to a sound. The closet door creaking open. Lisa's heart pounded as she turned on the lamp. The door was now wide open, and the room felt ice cold. She stared at the dark space, her breath catching in her throat. She shook Matt awake, but by the time he turned on the overhead light, the air had gone still, and the closet was empty. Matt shrugged it off, but Lisa couldn't. She started hearing faint scraping sounds coming from inside the closet at night. When she checked, there was nothing, but each morning she found the door cracked open again, no matter how tightly she shut it. Then came the whispering. Soft, muffled, a woman's voice coming from the closet. Lisa refused to sleep in the bedroom after that. One night, she dozed off on the couch, only to wake up to a loud thud from the bedroom. She bolted upright, heart racing. Matt rushed in from the bathroom, pale. "What was that?" she asked. His voice was shaky. "I think it came from the closet." Armed with a flashlight, they stepped into the bedroom. The closet door was wide open. Inside on the floor was an old wooden box, one they had never seen before. Matt knelt and carefully opened it. Inside was a faded black and white photograph of a woman in a long dress. Beneath it, a single folded piece of paper. A death certificate. Eleanor Grayson. The document was over 80 years old. The cause of death? Suicide. That was the last night they spent in the house. They moved out the next morning, breaking the lease. A few months later, Lisa searched Eleanor's name online. She found an old obituary confirming that a woman by that name had lived and died in the house. To this day, she still wonders if Eleanor had been in the closet all along. Some places hold echoes of the past, refusing to let go of the souls that once lived and died within their walls. For the unsuspecting tenants in these stories, what seemed like ordinary homes quickly became something far more sinister. A shadow in the window, a whisper from the closet, a lingering presence that refuses to be forgotten. Whether these spirits are trapped, lost, or simply unwilling to move on, one thing is certain. Some doors should never be opened, and some houses will never truly be empty. Have you ever had an experience in a haunted house? Share your story in the comments below. And if you enjoyed these chilling tales, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling content just like this. Today, we're diving into one of the creepiest and most mysterious phenomena out there, missing 411. Imagine this, someone goes hiking in a national park, everything's fine, and then boom, they vanish. No trace, no struggle, no explanation. And when or if they're found, it only gets weirder. Let's get into it. So Missing 411 is the name of a series of books and documentaries by a guy named David Pilates. He's a former cop who started looking into all these super weird disappearances in national parks and wilderness areas, mainly in the US and Canada. We're not just talking about someone getting lost in the woods. This is way stranger than that. These cases follow patterns that make zero sense and can't be explained by typical things like animal attacks, accidents, or getting lost. Here's where it gets crazy. These are the kinds of things that show up over and over in missing 411 cases. People vanish without a sound, even when they're just feet away from friends or family. Search dogs can't pick up a scent or act totally weird, like refusing to search or just sitting down and whining. Bodies or items are found miles away in places they couldn't possibly get to, especially in the time they were missing. Victims are often found missing shoes or clothes, and there's no reason for them to take them off. Weather shifts suddenly, like random snowstorms or heavy fog that totally ruin search efforts. Sometimes people or their belongings are found in places that have already been searched. In autopsies, a lot of times they can't even determine how the person died. So what's going on? Honestly, nobody knows. Some people think it's just people getting lost, but it doesn't add up. Others think it could be criminal stuff, but there's usually no evidence of foul play. Then you've got the wild theories. Aliens, portals, cryptids like Bigfoot, or even time slips. David Pilates doesn't really push a specific theory, but he's clear about this. Something strange is going on. Diving into our first missing 411 case, we head deep into the heart of the Devil's Ridge Wilderness in northern Idaho, a place as ominous as its name suggests. Rugged, remote, and cloaked in dense forests and steep cliffs, Devil's Ridge has a long-standing reputation for strange disappearances and unexplained phenomena. Our story centers on Mark 3r, a 34-year-old experienced outdoorsman and avid trail runner. This wasn't some rookie hiker. Mark knew these trails like the back of his hand. He'd explored Devil's Ridge countless times, often documenting his adventures with a GoPro and GPS tracker. But on one crisp October morning, Mark set out alone and was never seen again. What happened next baffled search teams, defied logic, and left behind more questions than answers. It was October 8th, 2019. Mark checked in at the ranger station just before 8 a.m., letting them know he planned to run the 12-mile Devil's Loop Trail and be back by nightfall. The weather was clear, skies blue, no storms in the forecast. Mark was geared up. GPS-enabled smartwatch, satellite phone, hydration pack, the kind of preparation you expect from someone who respects the wilderness. At 11:32 a.m., he sent a message to a friend via satellite. It was the last time anyone ever heard from him. When Mark didn't return by dusk, search and rescue teams were mobilized at first light. His car was still at the trailhead, untouched. Using the GPS data from his smartwatch, they tracked his path through the rugged terrain until it abruptly stopped at a clearing near a strange rock formation locals call Whispering Stones. At 11:45 a.m., both his GPS and smartwatch signals cut off completely. Not faded out, not lost in rough terrain, just gone. When search dogs were brought in, things got even stranger. The dogs reached the clearing and refused to go any further. They circled, whined, sat down, and stared silently toward the dense tree line. Not a single scent trail to follow. Then, as if nature itself was working against the search, a freak snowstorm hit the area less than 24 hours after Mark vanished, dumping half a foot of snow and burying any potential clues beneath layers of ice. For weeks, search teams combed the area, on foot, with drones, thermal imaging, and helicopters. Nothing. No gear, no clothing, no tracks. It was like Mark had simply evaporated. 3 months later, in the dead of winter, a pair of hikers stumbled upon something that reignited the mystery. One of Mark's trail running shoes. Clean, dry, and completely intact, sitting in a ravine 19 miles away from where he disappeared. This was a section of wilderness so rugged, even experienced climbers avoided it without ropes. There were no tracks, no other belongings, and no signs of wildlife. Just the shoe, sitting there, as if someone or something placed it there on purpose. To this day, Mark 3r has never been found. His disappearance remains one of the most chilling, unsolved cases in Idaho's wilderness. Now let's tie in how this case takes its place among the countless others that make up the missing 411 phenomenon. If you've been following these disappearances, you'll notice some striking patterns. In Mark's case, checks almost every box. First, the sudden disappearance. He was experienced, well-equipped, and in constant contact, then gone. No sign of distress, no mayday call on the satellite phone, no signal from his GPS after a specific point. Second, the strange behavior of search dogs, a classic 411 hallmark. These are trained animals, used to difficult terrain, but they refuse to proceed past that clearing. No scent trail, just fear, confusion, and silence. Third, extreme terrain and improbable distances. How did a single shoe end up nearly 20 miles away in a place that would take days to reach on foot through treacherous wilderness? And why was it clean and dry in the middle of a snow-covered ravine? And finally, the sudden weather shift, another chilling detail common in 411 cases. The snowstorm that rolled in right after Mark vanished buried any hope of fresh tracks or clues. Just like clockwork, the wilderness seemed to erase him. This is what David Pilates has been documenting for years. Disappearances that defy logic, leave behind minimal evidence, and baffle experts. These aren't just lost hikers. Something else is happening in these remote, wild places, and Devil's Ridge is no exception. The question is, are these just coincidences or part of a much bigger mystery we haven't begun to understand? So do you think there's a rational explanation for all of this, or is something bigger at play? Let me know what theory you're going with in the comments, and if you want to hear about some of the creepiest missing 411 cases ever, hit that like button and I'll cover more of them in the next video. Trust me, it gets real dark. Across North America, people are vanishing from the wilderness without warning, without a trace, and under circumstances so strange they defy all logic. These aren't typical missing persons cases. They share chilling similarities: sudden disappearances, no signs of struggle, no tracks, and often no remains ever found. A 2-year-old boy disappears from a campsite in Idaho, as if he was never there. An experienced hunter vanishes in the Colorado backcountry, his rifle left behind but no footprints in sight. And a seasoned hiker walks just ahead on a trail in California and is never seen again. 3 people, 3 remote locations, and no answers. These are real cases, unsolved, unexplained, and they all raise one haunting question. How can someone simply vanish into thin air? Let's explore 3 of the most chilling missing 411 cases. On July 10, 2015, Dior Coons Jr. was camping with his parents, Jessica Mitchell and Vernal Coons, his great-grandfather, and a family friend at Timber Creek Campground near Leodore, Idaho. According to the parents, around 2 p.m., they briefly left Dior with his great-grandfather while they went to explore a nearby creek. Moments later, when they returned, Dior was gone. The family searched frantically, near the creek, in the forest, and around their truck. Authorities were alerted quickly, but from the very start, something felt off. Search and rescue teams flooded the area. Helicopters scanned from above, scent tracking dogs were deployed, divers searched nearby water, and yet no sign of Dior. No tracks, no clothing, no scent trail were ever discovered. Despite the rugged terrain, investigators expected to find something, but it was as if the boy had simply vanished into thin air. Not a single shred of physical evidence ever surfaced, not even items Dior was confirmed to have with him. As time passed, attention shifted toward the family. Inconsistencies in statements and inconclusive polygraphs raised suspicion. Some theorized foul play, while others suggested Dior wandered off and succumbed to nature. But even in that case, something should have been found. The lack of physical evidence, the abruptness of the disappearance, and the inability of trained dogs to pick up a scent all point to something deeply unusual. And that's where the missing 411 connection begins. Dior's case shares eerie similarities with dozens of other missing 411 disappearances. These cases often involve young children vanishing in remote areas within moments of being out of sight, with no signs of struggle, tracks, or remains. The terrain is usually rugged, the weather often takes a sudden turn, and standard search methods fail inexplicably. Like many other 411 cases, there are strange inconsistencies, gaps in time, and a complete lack of physical evidence. The location of Dior's disappearance, remote, near water, and at an elevation, also fits the pattern seen in countless other unexplained vanishings. Today, Dior's disappearance remains unsolved, a cold case that continues to haunt all who've investigated it. Was it an accident, foul play, or something even stranger? In September 2014, Aaron Hedges, an experienced hunter, disappeared in the mountains of Montana, one of the most rugged wilderness areas in the United States. What happened to Aaron is baffling, and it aligns disturbingly well with other missing 411 cases. Aaron was hunting elk with 2 friends in the Crazy Mountains. On September 5th, he left camp alone to retrieve gear from a cache they had stashed days earlier. He radioed his friends, telling them he'd meet them at a nearby campsite. But Aaron never arrived. The next morning, searchers found tracks that indicated Aaron had veered off course. His trail went cold, literally and figuratively, and the area was hit by sudden, unexpected snowfall, a detail that matches many other missing 411 cases where weather turns abruptly. Search and rescue teams combed the area for days. Helicopters, dogs, and ground crews covered miles of mountainous terrain. They found Aaron's boots placed neatly side by side and nearby a fire ring as if he had made camp. Later, they found his backpack propped up against a tree, untouched. Strangely, his remains wouldn't be discovered for 2 years and miles away from where he disappeared, in an area search teams had previously scoured. No one can explain how he got there barefoot, without supplies, and why he hadn't called for help, despite having access to a working GPS device. His gear was intact, his weapon left behind, and there was no signs of struggle or injury. Aaron's disappearance shares key missing 411 markers: an experienced outdoorsman, sudden separation from the group, rapid weather change, lost items found in impossible locations, and the body eventually discovered in an area previously searched. How does a skilled hunter vanish in his element only to reappear where he shouldn't have been able to reach? Yosemite National Park, 1981. 14-year-old Stacy Aris was on a horseback riding trip with her father and a group of tourists. In broad daylight, on a clear trail, she walked a short distance ahead and vanished forever. Stacy's group had stopped at a rest spot near Sunrise High Sierra Camp. She wanted to take photos at a nearby lake just 100 yards away. She was accompanied by an older man from the group, but as she walked ahead on the trail, he sat down to rest. Moments later, Stacy disappeared. The man couldn't see her anymore and assumed she was at the lake. But minutes passed, then hours, and Stacy never came back. Park rangers launched an immediate search. Helicopters, dog teams, and hundreds of personnel searched the area, but not a single clue was found. No footprints, no clothing, no signs of an animal attack or a fall. This was a well-maintained, frequently traveled trail on flat terrain. Stacy was an active, healthy teenager with no history of wandering. She should have been visible, should have heard the searchers calling her name, but it was as if she simply evaporated. Stacy's case has all the hallmarks of a missing 411 disappearance. A young person vanishes just feet from others, no evidence ever recovered, and search efforts that turn up nothing, in an area where someone should have been found. No answers, no remains, just another unexplained vanishing in a national park that raises more questions than answers. These cases are just a glimpse into the strange phenomenon known as missing 411. Experienced hunters, young hikers, and innocent campers all vanish without a trace, often in areas thought to be safe. What connects these disappearances? Are we missing something or someone? Subscribe for more true crime stories and mysteries, and stay curious, because the wild holds secrets we may never fully understand. In March 2024, Tina Ramirez, a 43-year-old resident of Piedmont, Oklahoma, was arrested on multiple felony charges, including child abuse by injury, child neglect, and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. The investigation began when a 14-year-old girl, appearing severely malnourished and weighing approximately 60 pounds, was found hiding behind a building. She expressed fear of returning home, prompting authorities to investigate further.
To you before you have time to run. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to do all that. I want to help you and figure out why you ran away and all that, but...
Can we talk about it at the police station?
We can talk about it in my car first. Yeah. Okay. Do you need it? Is this any of your stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go to my car. I have located her.
Clear on located her. I will call and cancel.
Clear. I'm just going to go around this building. What's going on? Why'd you run away?
I don't want to be there.
Why not?
She's scared.
She's scary? Who?
The one who takes care of us.
What's her name?
Tina.
Is that your mom? Yeah. What's scary about her?
I'm scared to get in trouble because she goes to the extreme. She goes very far when she gets into trouble.
Like what? What happens when you get in trouble?
Sometimes she locks us in a closet.
Locked you in a closet? For how long?
The longest I've been here has been like 4 days.
4 days? When did that happen? Most recently?
It was last year. It was around Easter.
And what did you get in trouble for that made that happen?
I was sneaking my sister's food.
You were making them food?
I was sneaking my sister's food that she gets from school.
Why'd you get in trouble for that?
Because I'm not supposed to.
Make food?
No, my sister, my little sister, she was bringing like snacks from school.
Yeah.
And I was having her keep it in the bedroom so I could have some. And so when she figured it out, she tased me and locked me in a closet for 4 days.
She tased you?
Upon searching Ramirez's residence, officers discovered 5 children living in deplorable conditions. The children reported being subjected to various forms of abuse, including being locked in closets for extended periods of time, physical assaults involving belts and tasers, and severe food deprivation. When police interviewed Tina, she makes excuse after excuse of why the children are saying these things and why they appear to be malnourished.
Have you ever locked your kids in the closet?
No.
Okay. Why would they tell me they've been locked in the closet?
All of my kids said that.
More than one.
No. I've never locked any of my kids in the closet.
Okay. I found this letter. And I'm sure you've read it. It was in your closet.
Yes.
Tell me about these letters.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, why is she saying all this horrible stuff is happening to her if...
She does that. It's how she vents.
Right. I mean, is it the truth?
I mean, those are old. I wouldn't know. Like,
She's talking about being beat up. She's talking about having scissors to her throat. Talking about pulling you off of her and you telling her you would have killed her.
That's when we had an altercation.
Right.
We had an altercation.
With scissors?
No, there was no scissors. She was coming at me.
Okay.
But we can't pull it off because she was holding my hair.
Okay.
Right? And, yeah, that did happen. That did
Okay.
happen, yes.
How do you discipline these kids? I mean, I know we talked about it earlier. Do you spank
Yes.
them?
No.
Do you hit them?
No.
Ever?
No. I've had altercations before.
Yeah.
There's been more than one. There's a time she ripped my necklace off of me, okay? And I held her. Tantrums, kick and punch.
Yeah.
I had to hold her down.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, no.
Typically, what does dinner look like here?
I don't cook every single night, but dinner, the kids will do either, most of the time the little ones like pizza, Hot Pockets, chicken nuggets, peanut butter and jelly. The big girls,
Jade, you want a flashlight?
like, I just did beans.
If you need it, I don't know.
I just did beans the other day at school, but the big ones, I'm getting up late and I ain't getting the time to work and everything. I make sure they get milk. And not cereal.
Tell me about this.
Okay. This one right here, I did take away the drinks from her because she was sneaking them. She writes stuff like this all the time, sir. You can talk to her about this. She does this all the time. She'll tell you.
So why'd you keep this one like it's important?
I didn't keep because it's
It was in your closet.
I mean, I kept,
With all your important papers.
I kept all of these to show her and remind her, but I haven't got these out in forever, sir. I'm being honest, like,
I don't think you are.
I'm scared.
Well, probably because you've been abusing your kids.
No,
Look how skinny they are. You tell me you feed those kids.
I do.
Enough.
I wouldn't say enough. They like to eat noodles. What kid can get fat off of noodles?
My kids. I feed my kids noodles all the time. They're fatter than hell. At least not skin and bones like this.
They eat noodles and crackers with it.
And spaghetti and meatballs and Hot Pockets and pizza and hot dogs and all kinds of nutritious things. Those kids are malnutritioned, Tina.
Well, I give them canned vegetables. Does that count?
That's healthy,
Apples.
yeah. No, but here I am, and they don't have bedrooms, and they had cereal for dinner.
Well, that's what they wanted. They got the choice, the option, and they have the choice of that. That's what they wanted. It's always what they want. What do you want? I'm not cooking tonight. If they want cereal, they get cereal. If they want a bologna and cheese sandwich, sir, they get it. Ask all of them. That was their option tonight. I'm not sure what she wanted. I said, what do you want? There's beans from last night that I cooked. She was just saying, who's going to get to eat the beans now? She loves my cooking. My kids love my cooking.
Dear God, I think she's going to kill me. I didn't do anything. You and I both know that. I have been talking to you, praying, and trying to be polite, helpful, and respectful. I've been shutting out all the bad thoughts, but it's no use. But I won't let their negativity and discouragement stop me. This is my year for as long as I'm alive. I'm going to change, but I won't let anyone stop me. I want to change, but if she kills me, I know that I was making changes to make me better. I'm going to be kind and respectful still. She held scissors to my throat. Scissors, underlined, to my throat. She left bruises on my neck, along with cuts from her nails. She cut the inside of my lip, and now one of my front teeth is moving slightly. My nose is clogged with blood, and my ear is bright red with plenty of scratches on it. And it hurts so bad. I can't lay on that side of my head. You know I could get her in trouble for that. And the fact that she said, I'm going to kill her with at least 2 people besides me that can verify that. Then she whispered to me, if Katrina didn't stop me, I would have choked you till you passed out. And I'm the sick, twisted one, but no, I'm going to stay here just to prove what I can change.
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
combine that with the fact that these kids have run away 7 times from you? Mm-hmm. How is any reasonable person supposed to think you're not starving and abusing these kids?
Okay. Mental abuse, I would say yes. Physical abuse, no. Has there been altercations? Yes, there has. Starving, like you said, I feed them, but it's not the food like you're saying your kids get.
No, I quoted the noodles you said. Okay, you said noodles, I said noodles. Okay, we're not
starving. Then why do I have all this food?
If you're feeding them, why are they skinny?
Have you talked to them about that?
I have.
And what did they say?
That's not what we're talking about. I'm asking you questions right now. If you're feeding them, why are they skinny? Are you eating? Is your husband eating?
Yeah.
Those boys are eating, at least it looks like it. I haven't looked at them real close. But those 2 older girls, you can't look at me and tell me they're eating enough. Tell me they're eating enough.
There's a time we thought they had parasites. I even bought them parasite medicine. It's around here somewhere.
Did they go to the doctor?
No.
When's the last time they've been to a physician?
Because it's been a while.
How long is a while?
See, I think the last time for was to get a shot and the dentist to get her retainer taken out. So maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
They haven't been to a physician in 2 or 3 years?
No.
Look how skinny they are. You thought they had parasites? And you didn't take them to the doctor?
She told I've had parasites.
You should go to the doctor if you have parasites. You should take your children to the doctor if they're skin and bones, Tina.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So why haven't you? Why aren't you feeding your kids?
Why haven't I taken them to the doctor? I have no excuse.
Okay. Why aren't you feeding your kids enough? Okay, you feed them. Why aren't you feeding them enough?
What is enough? Because like I explained earlier, they were gorgy.
Are you feeding those kids enough?
Enough? Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What would be enough? Is 3 times a day enough?
Okay.
2 to 3 times a day?
So
because sometimes, like I said, in the morning, the girls will just have a glass of milk. Okay? But they have lunch and they have dinner. They never skip that.
Okay.
Never.
We're circling right back around to if they're not skipping meals and if they're getting fed enough, I wouldn't be able to see their bones through their skin like that.
Yeah. So maybe, I should have taken them to the doctor.
Absolutely, I think you should have taken them to the doctor. You know, especially if they're skinny because there's something wrong with them. You know, if they're skinny because there's something wrong with them, they need to go to the doctor. If they're skinny because you're not feeding them, you need to go to prison. Right?
Right.
Fed them enough either.
Okay.
Look at him. It breaks my heart. When I found that girl and she stood up, Tina, I don't know how you stay here with her like that. She's tiny.
She covers herself. She's always covering herself.
But that doesn't mean it's not there.
I know, but she covers herself. She does. I've been trying to get her to do more, drink more, eat more, and everything. Give her Gatorade. Said, maybe you need some electrolytes. I did. Started buying more oranges and apples. Nutrients. Bought more canned food. Hey, you need to eat some vegetables. I have.
And then you keep...
Always home.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah. But I let them always choose. What do you want to eat? It's their choice. They choose.
Tina, please. I really am not trying to be mean to you.
I know
it's
you're
just,
not. You're doing your job.
Whenever you say things to me like, I let them eat, I let them choose, I let them this, like all I can think about is looking at how skinny they are. So like, they're not, and they haven't gone to the doctor, and there's locks on everything in this house, and I can't even count the cameras. I haven't started to. Like these kids.
They were for protection at first.
Oh, well, I get.
Like I said, I started putting them in certain places because we had to.
And I get, having them so the kids don't run away. But now that I've been here, I kind of understand why the kids are running away. I don't blame them. I'd be running away too. Like, I just want to eat. Like.
But when I've asked them why they ran away, it was never had to do anything with that.
Tina, they're not going to tell you because you're starving them. Why is all the food locked up?
To keep them from sneaking it, stealing it, things like that.
Why?
The freezer, you notice, isn't locked up. They don't usually get in the freezer and mess with that stuff. But the stuff that they can grab quick,
let me ask you a question.
that's why.
What is wrong with letting them... I understand keeping some control over it because I've got 4 kids. I have to do that myself. But I do that through parenting, not putting locks on everything. I understand that these are some devious... Hang on, let me finish. Wait, just let me finish my thought, please.
No, absolutely.
I understand you got some devious kids causing problems. You got to take that extra step. I get it. But, like, their cameras, locks, they're running away constantly. They're writing letters, because they're out of options. They don't know what else to do anymore. Like, they're expressing their feelings on paper because they've got no one to talk to because they don't go to school and they don't go to counseling and they don't go to the doctor and all they do is sit around here and get starved. And what am I supposed to tell anybody that asks me why you shouldn't go to prison? What do I tell somebody, Tina? Because I just didn't feel like taking them to the doctor?
No.
You've got $60,000, $80,000 cars in the garage, but you can't afford enough food, so you lock it up. Let's reconvene tomorrow, because I'm getting frustrated and that's unprofessional. Okay. And I apologize for that.
Actually, you know what? You're doing your job.
Thank you.
You're doing your job.
Thank you, Tina.
You're absolutely welcome. And you said my sister was on her way?
Jade, sister's
yes,
coming?
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're not going to leave. We're just going to quit this interview so I can calm down.
You're okay.
I appreciate you speaking with me.
No, I appreciate you. You have, I'm going to let you know, you have been very nice throughout this whole process. Something like this can be very uncomfortable, all of it from the beginning. And since you walked in my door, you have made this process comfortable.
I'm glad.
You're doing your job,
right.
Okay? That's your job. Serve and protect, right? I can't be mad at that. All right? Her job, same thing. Serve and protect, right? I understand. I do. Okay. It looks bad. It does.
It's because it is bad, Tina.
It
doesn't look bad. It is bad.
Yeah.
The police are here doing a search warrant, and DHS is taking your kids.
I know.
It's bad.
And that's you know what? I'll tell you something. Those 2 older ones have been taken from DHS.
I know, and
not
they're
only from their bio parents, but a foster.
And they're terrified.
Foster. They've been taken out of foster care before because that foster home got investigated, and then the 3rd home that they didn't want them, so they felt not wanted.
And now the 4th home.
And
how do they feel here?
I hate that.
And so these kids have run away over and over again, but it's wild, and I didn't think we would have this conversation because it's not normal for us to have this conversation, but it's crazy. These kids want to run away, but they're also scared of me to take them away. They don't want to be here, but they're scared to end up with some worse foster family.
They've told me the reason they don't want to be here because they're tired of hurting everybody. They're tired of hurting...
How are they hurting you? Eating too much?
No. Just putting me through the things that they have put me through.
What did they put you through?
Like, I told you she scratched my car. She got mad. She got angry.
She's a child.
Ramirez's husband, 26-year-old Anthony Ibizeco Jr., was also arrested on complaints of enabling child neglect and abuse. He admitted to an investigator that the household environment resembled a prison due to numerous surveillance cameras and acknowledged that Ramirez was responsible for feeding the children.
They were, and it's not good, Anthony. Okay? So, man, I really don't know what to tell you other than you should have done something, I think.
That's the thing. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what should I have done? What should I have done? Because at the same time, I did make sure I told her. I was like, hey, like, I asked her.
You knew what you were getting yourself into, man. I mean, like, you should have taken him to the doctor. You should have taken him to somebody, a professional.
They're adopted. I'm not on their papers like that.
I know that, but you got to know the family before you even got married.
Right.
You got to know the family and made sure that was something you wanted to be a part of.
Right.
So when you marry a woman with kids, those are your kids, your stepdad.
She always takes them to the hospital before the start of school.
That's for the babies, man, not the big ones. The big ones need to go to the doctor.
I thought she did that.
No, and she told me that she thought they had parasites and that she never took them to the doctor, even then. I mean, so I don't think that the defense of you just didn't know is going to fly for this, truthfully.
I don't know what else to say. It's like I can't like lie. I can't lie.
No, I don't want you to lie. That's the last thing I want you to do.
Right. It's like what do I say? What do I do?
I wish that there was something that you could tell me that you did to protect the kids. That's what I wish you could tell me. Is there anything you did to protect them?
I mean, thinking about it, let me see what I did to protect them.
You know, if
So I'm just trying to think hard. And things that I did to protect them. I don't know. Those times I did say, because I wanted like us to. I don't know if this is like protecting them. It's like me having to take them to buffets and stuff. I don't know if that's not protecting.
that's feeding them.
More.
Right.
I'm sorry, but protection. Talking to them.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
So you said you took them to buffets, but you know you also said Tina primarily took care of them at home. Did you ever prepare meals for the family?
I did. It's African food and
Not really their thing.
Not really their thing. So they're more of the night American corn dogs and things like that. But as far as the African side, they always say it's spicy. So I'm just okay. I'll eat it myself. So
right.
And all I just did was that I just kind of made rice and just ate the stew that's in the fridge, or I buy noodles, and there is some African noodles that I eat, and I cook for myself, and that's it.
Okay. You know, do you understand what you just explained to me, right? Mm-hmm. You don't feed the kids?
We feed the kids.
You don't feed the kids, right? You said it's her responsibility?
Yeah, she's the
okay,
one that feeds
but she's not feeding them either, is what it looks like.
No, she says she feeds them, and I asked
Do you
her.
see her feed them?
Yeah, in front. There was one time when I had this argument with her, I watched her. She doubled, like, there was a time they were eating, like,
What argument were you having with her?
It's mostly about this kids, man. It's like, I always tell her, hey, like, pretty much with the two, first I was like, questioning, like, why the hell do you have, why do you have all these logs, blah, blah. And then she goes, well, it's because, they every single time trying to run away, so I'm trying to stop it from happening. Then all of a sudden, cameras. Why do you have all these cameras? Like, what the?
Is that not you? Is that her? Like, there's so many cameras. That's crazy.
That's just so crazy because I freaking that was argument about it. I argued with her. I said, hey, like, this camp, like, this is not normal family. This is some prison or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
First of all,
Thank you.
The cameras, I was like, yo, okay, there's so much cameras. And she's like, yeah, because I use the cameras to watch them because that way, because they kept asking, after they finished eating, they kept asking, like, stealing food from the little ones. Whenever the little ones are eating, they go into the kitchen and kind of give the little ones some side eye, and then the little ones would just act like they're full. And then the big ones take their food and eat it.
Because they're hungry, Anthony.
Because they ate.
But why are they... Man, Anthony,
just like you, I'm confused, man. I'm freaking confused.
Okay,
they're
listen.
hungry.
All right, just listen to me for a minute. Let me explain kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because you tell me these kids run away all the time, and that might be a behavior thing or not, whatever. But you're also telling me, like, they're stealing food all the time.
Right.
That just, like, they're stealing food all the time, and they're skin and bones. Like, they're hungry, Anthony.
Hey, check this out. Though.
Like,
they went to my her sister's house.
Yeah.
She fed them. But tell me why the hell they're still stealing the food from their cousin's place?
Because whenever you came from a good home, so I don't expect you to understand this, but when kids over time don't get enough food, it's kind of like a dog. Like, have you ever had like a dog or an animal that went too long without food and stuff, and they just want to eat, and you gotta kind of stop them because they'll eat too much and they'll throw up, and you know, it's so whenever an animal or a child or whatever has gone without adequate food, they're gonna want to eat everything all the time, just as a psychological thing. Like, they're used to not getting enough, so they always want more. Does that make sense? Like, any chance they get for food, they're gonna be like, oh, I need to grab that because I'm not gonna get to eat tomorrow, or I'm not gonna have enough, or I'm still hungry, or you know, I'm not in those kids' head, but I can imagine kind of how they're thinking, and it makes sense to me from my side why they're stealing food, because they're habitually not getting fed enough. They're hungry. Does that concept make sense to you?
I guess I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. I've never dealt with shit like this before.
All right.
I don't know where to begin. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. All I just know is that my whole goal for this was to have a good family, like turn something that was bad back to being good. That's all I wanted.
Have you ever hit the kids?
No. The only time that I hit the kid.
As of March 2025, there is no publicly available information confirming whether Tina Ramirez and her husband have been sentenced. Updates on their legal proceedings have not been widely reported. The children's biological grandmother, Shelley Yates, expressed a desire to gain custody of her grandchildren following these revelations. She described the children's fragile state upon being placed in her care and emphasized her commitment to supporting them through their healing process. This case underscores the critical importance of vigilance and timely intervention in safeguarding the welfare of vulnerable children. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to get more content like this, and hit that bell notification to get the latest video when it comes out.
Richard Lee McNair, born in 1958, convicted of burglary, attempted murder, and felony murder. Richard has had 3 escape attempts. One in 1988, escaped from North Dakota County Jail, and in 1992, escaped from North Dakota State Prison, and in 2006, escaped from Federal Maximum Security Prison. What you are about to see is the footage recorded minutes after McNair's 2006 escape from a Federal Maximum Security facility in Pollock, Louisiana.
You live around here, buddy? No. Where you live at?
Down the road by Pineville.
Pineville?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you have any form of identification on you?
No, man.
What's your name?
Robert Jones.
Robert Jones?
Uh-huh. Why, I'm not supposed to be on the tracks?
No, that's not the problem right now. What's your address?
I don't have an address. I'm at the hotel. We're working on houses and stuff like that, the roofing.
Roofing?
Yep.
Okay.
For my brother.
All right. What is? We got an escapee.
Oh, shit. Where from?
Prison.
There's a prison here?
Yeah.
Man, it is hot.
Hey, this is Carl. Subject wear glasses? Nothing about glasses. Can you find out? I'm out with a white male on the tracks at Gilly Williams.
He was on my little brother.
What about? Take your glove off. Any tattoos or anything? Look it over. No, no, he's clean.
Jesus, I'm 50 years old.
How old is your guy? You're how old?
50. I was born in 56.
You said born in 56. 58. Any kind of details you can give me, huh? What colors you got?
Green, well, kind of a turquoise blue.
Turquoise blue?
Yeah.
You want to give me some more?
Call my little brother, man.
Do right? No, it's not. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, short hair. My guy's got skin cut hair. He's got a beard, well, a goatee like. How old is that picture? Yeah, I know. I got the same thing. You can't see shit on it. All right. What kind of scar? Okay. All right. Let me just verify. He says his brother's staying at the motel. Let me verify that, and if so, I'll just cut him loose. All right. Thanks.
I guarantee I'm not.
You know the bad thing about it?
What's that?
You're matching up to him.
Come on. Well, that sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Where are you staying at?
That Titusville or Titus Inn? Titus Inn, little old.
Where's that at?
I don't even know the address. We just got into town about a week ago, and he dropped me off to jog. I always jog about 12 miles a day.
Where'd he drop you off at?
Up there on that road by, there's some construction going on up there, some houses. And he dropped me off, and he'll be back to the hotel in about probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Who y'all work for?
It's his,
I know. What's the name of the company?
Phil's Roofing.
Okay.
Phil's Roofing.
Did you go through a briar patch or something?
Well, yeah, roofing. I always roof in shorts and cut my scratching up on, the roofing.
That's
stuff.
why your knees are all cut up?
Yeah.
Or y'all got pads?
Huh?
Y'all wear pads?
Hell no, too hot. They rub the pad to rub your back of your legs and stuff.
Where are you from?
Huh? We're originally Dallas, Texas.
I mean, that's where y'all
that's
stay
where we're out of.
out of Dallas, Texas? So what's your name again?
Jimmy Jones.
Put yourself in my position.
Well, yeah, but I'm not.
I know. I'm not throwing you against
some.
them. Hey, you wouldn't believe what them guys do. I mean, they got years and years to think about how they're gonna do it. Now, when I crossed the tracks down there, I saw you running. I said, "Well, how lucky can I be?"
No. I'm not no prison escapee.
How far you got to jog to?
Pineville. Hopefully, it's on these tracks. I'll jog.
You gonna hit?
Huh?
Oh, you don't know where you're at?
Yeah, I'm at Ball.
No, I'm talking about you don't know where you're at as far as how far away you are from Pineville.
Well, I would say it's 8 miles.
I'm trying to think where you're gonna hit out at.
Well,
Procter
this goes
Gamble.
right through Pineville, right?
Right, you're gonna be right there at Procter
by
Gamble.
Walmart and all that stuff.
That's
Yeah.
where you.
So,
Where's y'all's motel at?
okay, let me think now, because like I say, fuel always drives. Okay, Walmart's right there. Go right at Walmart, and there's a road. Is it 165?
Right.
165 that goes south, and we're about 3 blocks.
Code 4.
Little old tiny hotel. I mean, it's clean, but it's family owned.
Little old tiny hotel.
Yeah, like a motel deal. You park up there, and there's we've got a camper, and we were trying to get into the camper place, but we didn't get into the camper place yet. There's a camper place between, I think, Pineville, and what's the next town?
Alexander?
No, Alexander's the other way.
You got Paul, Pineville, Tioga?
I think that's Tioga. There's a little, you drive down the road down, and there's a place for campers and stuff. And that's where we usually stay, but we couldn't get in there. I promise you, I'm not no damn prison escapee.
You'd have done run by now. You know that yourself. You'd have done run by now.
No. Well, if you can't verify me, I'll be at the...
Did you see anybody or anything?
There's some kids up there playing.
That's all you saw?
Yeah, the kids. Was that you that blew your siren? There's a siren, and then some kids were screaming, some little kids playing on the tracks. And the guy...
probably told them to get off of them.
Oh, did you?
Well...
Can I jog on them? Because this is
I don't care, personally.
That's the only way I know how to get back.
Don't get run over by a train.
There isn't any. That's why I picked this.
I'm sure you can hear him way in advance.
Yeah, but that's why these are rusted, right?
For a train?
They go down this road?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. See, I saw it rusted, and I thought, hell, I can jog on this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, they'll come. Not as much as our other track. Other track about every
Thank
hour.
you, sir. I'm sorry to have to hold you up, but...
Hey, no, I'm just doing my job, man.
I know you are.
But, yeah, just be careful. You'll probably get stopped again, okay? Don't be alarmed by it. Borderline, yeah.
Okay, and you'll be on till, well, this shift.
I'll be on until we find this on gun.
Well, my dad's an auxiliary detective.
Where at?
In Dallas.
Oh, okay.
The posse is what they call it.
Yeah.
He's 70 years old, and he's been doing it since 63.
Still enjoys it.
Man.
Yeah.
But if somebody else stops me, I just have them call.
I mean, they're going to go through the same spiel and everything with
they
you.
Can call you.
But, yeah, I mean, don't be alarmed by it. Don't be upset about it. You know, they'll just stop you for a minute, check you out and everything. But if you do jog again in the future, carry some ID with you.
See, I'm sorry. When I was in the military, we never carried our ID on base and stuff. So.
On base is different.
Yeah,
you know, they assure you if you can cross on, you got something.
Yep.
But out here, you're in civilian life, you know.
Were you in the military?
No, I wasn't.
I'm retired Army.
But, yeah, in the future, if you're going to jog again, that way, I mean, if you get run over by a train, I know who you are. I don't have to start second-guessing who he is, you know.
Can you write down your phone number, your cell phone number, so I can have whoever call you?
Just call. You got a cell phone with you?
No, hell no. I don't even have a cell phone or anything.
Just call 911 is all you got to do, and they'll get a hold of us.
All right.
That's our quick line there.
You have a good day now.
Be careful, buddy.
Within days of his escape in Louisiana, McNair was featured on America's Most Wanted. Information gathered from the subsequent reports indicated that he was already in Canada. He managed to evade and elude Canadian authorities for over a year. time which included direct confrontations and near arrests. On October 25th of 2007, Richard Lee McNair was recaptured by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and has been extradited back to the United States. He is now in a Supermax facility in Colorado. If you enjoy content like this and want to see more, go ahead and check out our channel, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on new content when it drops. Stay safe.